Jim, our next question sent via the Cult of Cornette Facebook group was sent by Simon Bohm. A food-related question. What is Jim's favorite cut of steak? How does he like it cooked? And what is his favorite side?
Well, when I was a little bitty baby boy, Mama Cornette always got me the New York strips. And that, I think, because that may have been my dad's favorite. And so she just, whenever, I mean, obviously, if she was shopping at the store, she didn't consult me. Jimmy, would you like the ribeye? No, she would bring the New York strip home. Or if I was little and we would go to such a place to serve that kind of thing, I would just kind of get that because that's the kind of steaks that we ate. As I have gotten older, I have gotten more of a fondness for that. Now, still a good New York strip is hard to beat, but sometimes there's not the good New York strips that are thick enough and wide enough instead of these little bitty things you see these days. I have more appreciation for the ribeye, but in addition to a ribeye being a little bit easier to do at home and get all the juice and everything in it, if you're going to eat a steak these days with everything costing an arm and a leg and a shank and a jowl and a fucking udder and everything else, just get the goddamn filet mignon because, oh boy. And don't you ever dare have that thing any lighter than medium pink inside. If you go to the light pink or the goddamn done on a filet mignon, fie upon you. You should be penalized and imprisoned.
What's worse, that or just putting ketchup all over your steak?
Well, you don't use ketchup on a goddamn steak to begin with.
I agree you don't, but I've seen people do it.
Well, I've seen people commit acts of various vehicular homicide and mayhem that ought to be brought to justice also. You see videos all the time of people out committing crimes. Well, we ought to do something about the steak eaters with the ketchup. Put up some signs for them. Create a television show to track them down. But yeah, so I'm going to go with a filet if I'm really just pressed and just want to just eat a wonderful steak. Just a wonderful, wonderful steak.
And what would be your favorite side with the filet?
Well, regardless of what kind, you can't eat a steak without a baked potato. But now if the place has a wonderful loaded baked potato, then that's the way you got to go.
What about spinach?
Oh, for heaven's sake. Who am I, Popeye?
What are you talking about? That's spinach goes with steak.
Well, if you can only pick one side, I'm not picking spinach. Now, if that's your logic, then that means that the mushrooms or the grilled onions that you would put on the steak, that's a side too, because that's just spinach. That's just some goddamn weeds for dressing.
Oh, stop it. Spinach can be delicious.
Your substantial side is a big old baked potato, cracked open, lathered in all kind of butter with cheese sprinkled all over it and bacon bits, and then salt that bad boy down real good.
How about corn?
Now, you don't put corn on your baked potato.
No, with steak. Corn with steak.
Oh, there's nothing wrong. I like corn. There's nothing wrong with corn, but you can't pick corn over a baked potato with a steak. That's why they call it steak and potato. That's why Mama Cornette.
What about steak fries?
Whenever I would get out of hand and out of line, Mama Cornette would say to me, "You're going to have to eat a lot more steak and potatoes to be able to push me around there, Jimmy boy."
What about steak fries against a baked potato?
Well, now, if they're good steak fries, because steak fries are more of the wedges that are crispy on the outside, yet succulent on the inside, not these fast food type of old pansy-ass fries you get these days. And then you could dip those in the ketchup. But the ketchup should not come in contact with the steak. Or you can have the steak like the filet Oscar, where they put the crab meat and the various sauce on it and everything. That's a wonderful addendum to a steak, but that's not really a side. That's an accoutrement. An accoutrement.
All right. Well, that was the food question. Of course, Jim.
A little béarnaise sauce, maybe, on a steak. We can go for that, but that's not a side.
You may be someone who loves steak and have a problem with this segment. You may be someone saying, hey, didn't they say they were about to go to guest the program? Where is it? I guess my point is, Jim, some of the listeners, they may want to sue.
Oh, you're talking about false representation where we said we were going to do something and we lied to you. Well, we know who will take a case like that. This man.
Call Stephen P. News. If you need to sue. An outlaw mud show or two. Still to the rest.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Stephen P. New will take all kinds of cases, including if you happen to be full of shit and think that you can threaten somebody to get them to go away because they're telling the truth about you and or somebody that you've been dealing with, well, think again there, bear man. It's Terrible Ted, Ginger the wrestling bear, and Victor the bear all together couldn't pull me off the carcass of the son of a bitch that you are trying to defend. And Stephen P. New is the man that'll tell you that in more detail at newlawoffice.com, 877-50-STEVE. He'll be glad to tell you exactly what you need to do to make things right. I'm talking about the royal you out there. He'll be glad to tell anybody out there how they need to make things right for his clients. And if they do, then they'll be fine. And if they don't, they're going to not hear the end of him for a long, long time. Stephen P. New, newlawoffice.com, 877-50-STEVE.